Today on the list, an unusual way to improve your relationships. Adam Scott talks about the hit series Severance and the perfect plants for Valentine's Day.
It's the gift that keeps growing.
Plus,
no matter how old we are, we want to kind of bring something to the table.
Life lessons from a legendary pizza chef.
All the lessons are in the things that we burn, even in relationships.
But up first, how to simplify house cleaning. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes. And KG, sometimes the very act of tidying up can just seem overwhelming. It's this monumental task, and ultimately it's pointless.
Especially if you have tiny humans in your house that love Legos. It can feel like once you start cleaning, you're never really done.
Well, we turned to the author of the bestseller, How to Keep House While Drowning, to learn how to rethink the way you clean. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
Wash the dishes, fold the laundry, make the bed, vacuum, dust. I'm tired just talking about it.
I think it's important to remind people that it's a pretty human experience to struggle with those tasks.
Licensed therapist Casey Davis started posting TikTok videos of her cleaning during the pandemic.
I was posting videos of me cleaning my house and talking about ways to sort of navigate that when you feel overwhelmed. And since I'm a therapist by trade, I sort of just mentioned, like, if you have mental health issues, if you're really stressed or burnt out.
So many people related that her online audience has grown to over 1.5 million. And last year, she released a book, How to Keep House While Drowning. Now she's sharing her advice. Starting with the 5 things method.
So I've always been like overwhelmed by big mess. And so in my early 20s, I started telling myself, okay, even though it looks like there's like hundreds of items in this room, there's really only 5 items in this room.
She puts things into these 5 categories: trash, laundry, dishes, things that have a place, and things that don't.
And I found that if I stay in that room and I just go down category by category, then I can move faster, I'm less overwhelmed, and more efficient.
She says you want to give your brain multiple little finish lines, so as you complete them, you feel more motivated.
And then it also prevents decision paralysis. I know it sounds silly, but like if you just look at a sea of items and you go and pick up one item, your brain has to take in the visual stimuli of what that item is, decide what it is, and then go, okay, where does it go?
Once your room is clean, you'll want to organize for your life.
I don't feel like I have to use techniques that other people use if they're just truly not working for me.
So ask yourself, what is functional for you? KC did this by reorganizing her fridge.
First change, condiments, they're going in this bottom drawer here. If I want a condiment, I will go looking for that specific condiment. So they don't need to be front and center. What I need is when I open my fridge and go, I'm hungry, what do I have? Everything is visual. Nothing is stuffed behind anything else.
She says you don't always have to abide by the arbitrary rules we've put on things.
And it's amazing what you can come up with when you stop following the rules. I started doing a family closet because I have very young kids, and I realized, like, why am I going to everybody's different closet to put away clothes and to change people into clothes when I'm the one changing them?
And remember, you can't fail a system. So if Marie Kondoing isn't your thing, it's okay.
So if you do start on some idea, whether it's mine or Marie's or anyone's, and you find that you're just not keeping up with it, it's not because you are failing. It just means that isn't the right system for you.
And even though a lot of us love a good home organizing show, it should only be for motivation.
Like when we watch TV and see spaces, when we get Better Homes and Garden magazine, when we look at the home edit, it's supposed to be for inspiration, not an indictment.
We're redoing the way you clean your home at the top of the list.
We all know that flowers are the traditional way to go on Valentine's Day, but this year we are swapping it for a gift that'll grow and flourish and take root for the long haul. We are talking live plants.
Valentine's Day is almost here, and we've got the perfect gift idea.
Flowers die, plants last longer. And just like we want our love to last longer, that's the same thing that we're doing here at the Plant Project.
To learn about the best plants to give the ones you love, we spoke with Bree Clark, founder and creative grower at the Plant Project. First up, the bromeliad.
It's something that our grandmother had in her home, our mothers, and now it's something that we are able to give our loved ones.
And they have a special look to them.
As they mature, as they open up, they look like open arms. So think of your plant giving you a big hug, and you're actually giving this to someone that is about to, you're just sharing that joy with them.
And even though our grandmothers had these plants, that doesn't mean you should water them the same way.
Now, when you water in the middle, you'll get like little fungus and little yucky stuff that we don't want to spread during Valentine, of course. Now you're going to water in the base of it.
And if your loved one's thumb isn't so green, that's okay.
They're very easy care. You just have to keep them moist. Don't have to overwater. They don't take a lot of time.
Next up, anthurium.
The cool thing about anthuriums is you're still on the flower kick, and there is also a flower. So you can see them in bouquets of flowers during any season. They typically come as a stem, but when you're working with plants, they come as a bush. And the really cool thing that I love is their leaves are like a heart shape. So you have a heart-shaped leaf with the pink, and they really last a long time.
And they're easy to care for.
You don't have to have a lot of sunlight, not a lot of watering, but there's something that you can kind of drive off neglect and it's still be beautiful.
And lastly, the dianthus, or known as the flower form, carnations.
As you have it as a bush or as a plant, they're going to really grow longer. They're going to last longer because they're all grouped together and they're growing as an actual family. So it's kind of like in life, that family support, you just go a little further, last a little longer, can get through things. The same thing with the carnations.
And if you think carnations are just flowers your grandmother would give you, think again.
They are expensive now. Like carnations are not something that used to be the cheap flower that you would add as a filler for a wedding. The market has changed and people have realized that carnations do come in different colors.
And they aren't high maintenance.
They like to be dried out in between their watering. So they're ones that you can get away with watering once or every 2 weeks.
We are giving the gift of life for Valentine's Day through plants.
Ask anyone who's in a successful relationship and they'll tell you it's all about communication. So if you're looking for a way to hone those skills in a way that could benefit your romance, Hedy D. Jamal has tips from a source you may not have considered, an improv performer.
Maintaining a healthy relationship is no laughing matter. But did you know taking improv comedy classes might help you strengthen your bond with your significant other?
I think there's nothing that'll help you strengthen your bond with your partner more than improvisation. Because improv circles back to a couple different basic skills. There's the listening and there's eye contact. It's exciting to go through life connecting with more people in a world where people have become accustomed to disconnect.
Bill Cott, a Los Angeles-based actor and improv instructor, says communication is key to a happy home.
If you're putting all the skills to use, it'll strengthen your relationships. It helps you in every aspect of your life.
He has 3 improv skills that can improve your relationships. First up, active listening.
Active listening is listening to listen rather than listening to respond. So instead of trying to think of formulating an answer, you're looking to gain greater understanding about what the person is saying and go beyond what they're just saying. I know a lot of people who say, "You're not listening to me, you never listen to me." But if you're practicing active listening, you're not going to run up against that complaint.
Another key improv skill that Bill emphasizes is finding your playful side.
In improv, we find our playful side through playing games. One way to create a game is that you don't say your next line of dialogue until you have touched the other person in a new way. Maybe on their shoulder, maybe on their face, on the top of their head, or their hand. If you're practicing with a loved one, it could start with a very light touch to welcome the person home. It's almost like an on switch. Hey, I'm listening. I've got you.
Finally, Bill says it's important to seek agreement.
It can help you in your relationship. Instead of arguing with something that somebody says, agree with it. If someone says, "You're not listening to me," even if you've been practicing active listening, you have to say, "You're right, I haven't been listening. Obviously, if I was listening more, you wouldn't feel that way."
Seeking agreement may help you in those tense situations.
I think the best way out of an argument is improvisation, because a really good improv scene is never an argument, it's an agreement. When you're avoiding the argument and focusing on the agreement, instead of what can we fight about next, I've moved our situation and our relationship forward.
Creating a happier home by staying on your toes with improv.
Still to come on the list, slice up some good advice from Chef Chris Bianco.
Know this right now. that you're at least twice as good as you think you are.
And Black-owned businesses making an impact.
I love for giving back to youth in need.
Plus, catch up with actor Adam Scott of Severance.
Part of me is just like an audience member reading these scripts and just wanting everyone to be okay.
All that and more ahead on The List.
Welcome back. And KG, let's talk about pizza. Crusty, cheese-covered, piping hot pizza. So delicious you'll never want to stop eating it.
Ooh, yummy. And you know, that might be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Chris Bianco. He is one of America's most famous pizza chefs.
But as Teresa Strasser found out, he has a lot more to offer than just food. We're digging into a big slice of Chris Bianco's life advice.
A show on Netflix called Chef's Table Pizza features the world's best pizza makers.
Bar, please.
One of them is James Beard award-winning chef Chris Bianco, who has restaurants in Phoenix and Los Angeles.
I did fall in love with it. Not so much the sum, but the parts of pizza, the people, the farmers.
Bianco was one of the first chefs to create artisanal pizza, like his famous Rosa, topped with red onion, rosemary, and...
I found some great pistachios.
Who knew nuts could be life-changing? We sat down with him to hear lessons from his flavorful life. First, he found out early on that plans change.
Well, growing up in the Bronx, you had a perfectly reasonable life plan, which was become a member of the Yankees. And then somehow it didn't work out.
You always have to make a plan B. For me, I guess all roads led to the desert somehow.
Instead, an asthma diagnosis as a kid changed everything.
It helped me see people a little differently, or the world a little bit differently, for better or worse. And for me, it's been better. You know, I wouldn't have traded it, to be honest.
Next, he believes everybody belongs at the table.
No matter how old we are, we want to kind of bring something to the table. From a metaphor sense, yeah, food's the easy thing, but everyone, someone that, you know, brings the lights or the music or the wine or the candles, I mean, it all plays a role.
He says that while pizza helped him find his spot in the world, it's how you show up that makes a difference.
I just want to offer kindness. I want people to feel welcome, respect our views or our space or how we do things. And I'll be sure to the best of my ability to respect yours.
Finally, Bianco says you learn things when you burn things.
A home chef is not going to be Chris Bianco, but how can somebody be 10%
Be much better? They'll be much better. They can do that. But.
Do you have tips for somebody to be just a little bit better, whether they're making pizza?
I do. I have a big tip for you guys.
Okay, I'm ready.
Know this right now, that you're at least twice as good as you think you are.
He says have confidence. Just kind of eyeball things. You don't need a strict recipe, and if you screw up...
All the lessons are in the things that we burn. Even in relationships in that time, you know, when you're finally in a place where you're happy, I think that you learn that what went wrong, and most times it's us, you know, or more often than not.
I love that when you burn things, you learn things. That's why pain exists, to teach you not to do that thing again.
There would be no pleasure without pain, wouldn't
there? There you go.
There'd just be just things.
And pizza.
Always pizza.
So according to recent data, there are about 3.24 million Black-owned businesses right here in the U.S., and that number keeps growing. So as we celebrate African American History Month, let's take a look at a few Black-owned businesses making a big mark. Okay, kicking off our list, Tinky Poo Diapers.
Noticing that there wasn't babies of color actually on diapers, just the artwork that depicted culturally relevant prints. We didn't see it.
After realizing the lack of diversity, Nadia Spencer and her partners had one goal.
This dream was a pleasant dream and a happy dream. It was a dream of children of color on diapers.
The diapers are printed with messages and images of babies of color to showcase representation.
Not only is it about meaningful and adorably designed prints that are like thoughtfully made, it's also a hug to all babies of color from afar.
Oh my gosh, I love that. For more info, visit tinkypoo.com. At number 2, Black and Bold.
Hey, I'm Rod Johnson. I'm Pernell Cesar. We're the creators of Black and Bold.
A lifetime friendship and love for coffee and tea led to the foundation of a dream.
In 2018, my friend of 20 years, Pernell, and I decided to build a business that took our love for coffee and tea and connected it with our passion for community.
They donate 5% of their earnings to nonprofit organizations across America.
With every cup of coffee served, We'll contribute back to the communities of our consumers.
Their products can be found at select stores or online on Amazon. To know more, visit blkandbold.com. And last on our Black-owned businesses list is Brown Estate.
I love coming here. I love being here. I love the sense that I'm in my own world.
So in 1980, the Brown family purchased an abandoned ranch in the eastern hills of Napa Valley. And years later, the three siblings decided to make their own wine.
Brown Estate is an estate winery where we grow, produce, and bottle all of our wines.
To sample their wines, make a reservation online at brownestate.com and visit their tasting room in person.
What we really do is provide a gorgeous, safe, and inspiring place where our customers can meet and engage and enjoy.
Well, here's to inspiring Black-owned businesses making an impact every single day. Friends, coming up, we are talking with Adam Scott, who has been Golden Globe, Screen Actors Guild, and Emmy nominated for his role in the hit show Severance. Don't miss it.
The list is always available on YouTube with the latest food trends. It's your life, it's your list, and it's there for you on YouTube at The List Show TV.
We're back, and today on the watch list, we're talking about Severance, the psychological drama that's been nominated for 70-plus awards since debuting just last year. Star Adam Scott told Jackie Denker all about it.
Go ahead and have a seat.
The critically acclaimed Apple TV Plus series Severance is about a company whose employees have agreed to sever the memories between their work and home lives.
My name is Mark S., and I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure known as severance.
Adam Scott, who's been Golden Globe, Emmy, and Screen Actors Guild Award nominated for his role, told us everything about the series, except what to expect from season 2.
I wish I could tell you something, but if I even get a syllable out about season 2, like a trap door will open and I'll disappear. So I need to keep it to myself for now. I'm so sorry. I make these statements freely.
First, he didn't think such an odd show would be a hit.
When we were making it, we were like, this is super weird. So who knows if it's going to find an audience? And the fact that critics liked it, that it really resonated with audiences, it is just so great. We're really, really just honored.
Every time you find yourself here, it's because you chose to come back.
One big reason Severance found an audience, the show's constant twists and turns.
It's just really exciting getting these scripts and getting to see where these characters go and the decisions they make and how they end up affecting the big picture.
If you want to know what's going on down there, you'll find the beginning of a very long answer.
I love all the characters and love all the actors playing the characters. And so this part of me is just like an audience member reading these scripts and just wanting everyone to be okay. I worry for them just like I would if I were a fan watching the show.
Nothing is what they say.
But while Adam is happy to play Office in Severance, that's as close to office work as he'll likely ever get.
I feel like for some people that's a great job and they feel like content doing that job, and that's terrific. For whatever reason, I'm just restless and feel like I would end up getting fired because of my terrible work skills. What happened?
We'd love to tell you, but unfortunately non-disclosure policy forbids.
If you want to hear more of our interview with Adam, check out the guest list on our YouTube channel, The List Show TV.
That's a wrap.
Open or closed?
Both. We're putting Severance on your watch list.
Adam Scott brings such this unpredictable edge to all his roles. Maybe that's why he thinks he'd get fired if he had an office job.
Well, if he did get fired, I wonder if HR would do it with an animatronic plush toy.
The savage cuteness of Breakup Bear, last on our list, is next. Welcome back. It's time for what's last on our list. And KG, of course, Valentine's Day is all about love, but the fact is, it marks the end of an absolutely brutal stretch of the year for relationships.
That's right. We hear that the most breakups occur on December 11th. January is unofficially known as National Breakup Month. And the Tuesday before Valentine's Day has been dubbed Red Tuesday because it's a bloodbath for relationships.
Sure, cut bait before you spend all that money on roses and chocolate.
I mean, that's just good financial planning.
So then the question becomes, how to break up? You're not supposed to do it by text.
No.
It's really awkward, that conversation face to face.
Yeah, brutal. There's no getting around it. Breaking up is hard to do.
Au contraire, for $17, you can get Walmart's adorable breakup bear to do the dirty work for you.
This is not a real thing.
It is. This plush toy holds a broken heart, has the words bye-bye on his sweater, and plays the NSYNC classic Bye 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 as seen in this TikTok video from user Jessica0613.
Okay, Walmart tweeted about the breakup bear, and the thread of replies show a totally mixed reaction. This user replied that Walmart is savage, and this guy said, honestly, if I was given this, it would hurt more than a text.
Sure, but so many others absolutely just loved it. So clearly, you get out of Breakup Bear what you bring to Breakup Bear.
Are you bringing Breakup Bear home?
Yeah, I'm gonna get Breakup Bear to myself.
And friends, that's what's last on our list. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Tomorrow on the list, how love follows you into the afterlife.
You can be with multiple people here in this world, but only one is your soulmate.
Plus, everything you need to know about skin cycling.
Our skin sometimes needs a little break from all the products.
And
let's give this a try.
Let's do it.
why Pez pairs perfectly with Prosecco.
That's really good.
Tomorrow on the list.